We're all excited. All right, hello everybody, and welcome in to just a banger of an episode of the Football is King podcast. But we got to start off with just some T's and P's and some prayers in the chat for our boy Shane, who he's going to be a big miss. I'm not going to lie. He brings some good energy, and we're going to talk a lot of Aggie football today. And he brings a lot of hatred for that.
I'm gonna try to step it up for him. I'm gonna try to.
We will try to.
I'm gonna step it up.
Yeah. Right. Let's keep the ridiculous, not appropriate Shane comments to a minimum because he's not here.
I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna keep it going.
Let's not do that.
I'm happy that retarded kid's gone.
Right. Hey.
He committed like spots at Samford, by the way.
What?
Good for him.
Not Stanford, but
Samford.
Where
his dad
the Bulldogs.
Yes, as a kicker.
He's a kicker.
Apparently, I didn't know that, but I saw that.
He's gonna take all those damn chains off.
I had to Google search to see, is that the same brother?
Nah, he's gonna wear the kick chains. All right. But to get through our sadness this week, or happiness, however you want to look at it, I'm drinking a lovely full-grown man, which is 12.1% ABV. It's delicious from local Tupps Brewery. Let me hide the St. Arnold's logo because it's not the right cup, but I didn't have the right glass.
I need to talk to the guy that owns Tupps and see if he'll sponsor the pod.
Yeah, also, can you get him to send the cherry limeade beer to the Austin area? Because that's a great summer beer, and I couldn't find it this summer.
I'll see what I can do, but we just passed Veterans Day, and I don't see him.
No, that's fine. It's for next year. If need be, I'm gonna just drive up to their brewery next summer and just give me as many of these as you can.
He's the treasurer of our veterans organization in McKinney.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Before we get into all things college football with our new playoff ranking and so on and so forth, and firing of Jimbo Fisher and whatever the coach is.
Jimbo Fisher got fired?
Oh, yeah. Did you not hear that? Jimbo Fisher got fired. It's time for some BS conjecture, and there's only one place to start.
Jimbo Fisher got fired.
That's with Victor Wembanyama. I've got some questions because and I wish Shane was here once again for this as well. Let's talk about our boy Victor Wembanyama. He needs a nickname.
It's Webby.
No, I heard the best nickname, and I'm a fan of it. He's the Big Winnebago.
Yeah, I heard somebody say that.
That's so good. I love it. Also, I don't know what his intro music is when he steps onto the court, but it needs to be. And this needs to I don't know who needs to be out there who's a sound editor or whatever. Victor Wembanyama should enter the court to the Lion King intro where it's like, yeah, but then after that, all right, you know what? Screw it. We're gonna risk copyright here.
They'll never find out. How they don't know?
Disney never, freaks out and looks at things.
They never freak out about anything, They're rational human beings over there at Disney.
Men dressed as women. They're not worried about us. That was a Shane comment.
Can y'all hear that?
No.
Y'all can't hear the music?
No.
Nope.
I don't know anything about Google and how to share my sound and all of these things, whatever. Hold on. I just got to remember the tune, and then I'll... No, not yet.
Mumbai.
This is some really, really good audio, or good podcasting right here. This is quality podcasting.
It's not dead space because we are talking.
We are talking, but we're talking about nonsense.
I mean, that's fine. While you want to figure that out, you want to talk about how the guy that cut that dude's throat with his ice skate got manslaughter?
Sure, we'll go back.
That's
we'll go back to
conjecture.
Yeah,
right
okay. So hey, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, 2 weeks ago. About the hockey player in England got his throat slit by a skate. Yeah, that guy charged with manslaughter.
Can you share that video?
Nope.
They pretty much wiped that from the internet at this point.
Yep.
I have it. I still have it.
I mean, I'm not putting that on YouTube. We're definitely getting some kind of strike.
Why?
The man literally died.
He did die, and there's a lot of blood, and it's bad.
Understand that?
A lot of blood.
A lot of blood.
Oh.
And you know what?
There was another BS conjecture that I came up with this morning. I forgot.
Oh, well, that's
We could always talk about how Draymond just tried to strangle Rudy
Yeah.
Gobert for no reason.
So yeah, for those that are noticing, we definitely filmed our podcast in reverse this time. But yeah, A&M's a basketball school. That happened. Kentucky's gonna lose to Kansas
No,
because
we don't beat Kansas.
Kentucky's gonna beat Kansas, and Draymond Green just tried to commit manslaughter. That guy in
Really
England
bad.
definitely.
On the day a man literally got arrested,
Yeah, on the day that a sports athlete got arrested for manslaughter,
Draymond
Draymond Green tried to also be like, you know what? I'm going to also
could do
commit
that.
manslaughter
I could do
against the guy that didn't do anything. Rudy
Although
Gobert.
He did. He was.
Rudy
solely-
He
Gobert.
did start COVID.
He is
started
solely
COVID.
responsible for the bubble and LeBron James winning a title.
Yeah.
But I don't think he deserves to be choked out.
Best teammate LeBron James has had in 5 years.
Okay, back to the Lion King. In the circle of life, in the opening song,
Okay.
it goes dun 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 dun
Yeah.
dun dun dun, and it should be Wembanyama Victor Wembanyama Wembanyama Victor, and then I don't know, from there change it to where it says it's the circle of life, but say something, but just it does some gibberish that I can't understand. It's not gibberish, it's a language that I just don't speak, and so that wasn't the most
African.
Yeah, we don't know what African's not a language. It is, I believe it is Swahili, but I do not know. Where in that language it's saying like it's a lion, whatever. But what it should be saying is for the Spurs, they should dub it over and say like Wembanyama Victor Wembanyama.
Did you come up with this?
Yeah, Sarah and I were talking about it the other day at the dinner
Bro.
table.
Delete this podcast. Start over. You need to release a video of this. This is gold.
I mean, just this. I don't need the money of it. I need the Spurs to do what is right. So I don't know who is important at the San Antonio Spurs, but listen, if you don't have this as your intro music for him, you're just making a mistake.
Okay. Also, it doesn't happen often, so this may just be a really low bar, but this might be the most racist thing Austin has ever said.
How is this racist?
Big black guy.
African music.
African music.
It's not African music. It's the Lion King.
That's African.
And if you could hear the words, the reason why it sparked me is because it sounds like they're saying Wembanyama as one of the parts. Like the syllables match. That's why I thought of it.
I just think it's really funny. Like, it's kind of funny.
Does work.
It's kind of
That's
funny.
fine. If that's the most racist thing I've ever said, I'll take it.
You're doing well. You're doing
that's
well.
not very racist, so
Yeah,
I'll
you're doing
take
well.
it. Hey, you know who else is doing well?
Can't go 6 hours without it. So
that's true. You know who else is doing really well? The College Football Playoff Committee, because they finally put Georgia at number 1.
Yeah, dude. And then I was watching it on my way home to get on the podcast, and you can't, Blake. What are we doing here?
I was looking at something. I haven't seen the full rankings.
It's bad podcasting to put your phone
Well, I hate to break it to you, but someone who has not been watching the podcast, you can only see one of us at a time, and it's whoever is talking. So don't comment on the people who are not on screen
it
talking.
It distracts me.
That's fair.
Shit. See, I forgot what I was even going to say. Great.
You said you were watching it on the drive home.
I was watching it on the drive home, and they were trying to be like, well, Georgia probably deserves to be at number 1, but why would you change it after? It's like, no, motherfucker, they should have been number 1 from the get-go.
Okay, or why would you not have changed it after they beat the crap out of Missouri, who is a good football team?
Like, what are we doing? It's 27 games in a row. They haven't shown weakness when healthy. What are we doing?
Also, if we're going to look at all of this, the logic being, hey, these teams are both winning, but Georgia just looks better than they do right now. I understand, and I know, and you know what? I would love the comments and tweet at us and all of these things. Why would you not put Alabama above Texas?
That's what I'm looking at right now. Texas has beaten 2 ranked teams.
Okay, but those ranked teams aren't going to be ranked teams at the end of the year.
Well,
They're bad.
It's Alabama and Kansas State. That's the only two.
Kansas State won't be ranked. Kansas State is bad.
Agreed. But it's like, how do you look at the two schedules and be like, oh, this is equal? Texas should have lost to Houston. The refs screwed them on that one. They should have lost to Kansas State.
They should have lost to Kansas State. They should have lost. And their kicker. And the fact that their guy just dropped an extra point. The holder dropped an extra point, and they missed a 27-yard field goal.
And I get that head-to-head matters. Here's going to be my issue if Texas ends up getting in over Alabama, and I do hate Texas, so I'm biased, obviously. But there's no room to improve as a team. If you lose the second week of the season, you're toast.
Yeah, I support Texas on a weekly basis. If they make the college football playoff, I'm going to throw up. They're bad. They're a bad football team. They're a bad football team.
If Alabama played them tomorrow, Alabama might win by 30.
Also,
but you know how
if you're the college football playoff committee, Texas lost their best offensive player for the season this weekend.
Yeah.
So how is that not come into play? Like, if Alabama loses Jalen Milroe, I'd be like, take them out of the top 25.
Yeah.
They suck.
Absolutely.
But Milroe is balling right now. He looks real good.
Yeah, it really sucks that he wanted to come to A&M and we didn't get him.
You know what? I still would take Connor Wigman over him. But
trust me, I would too. But Connor is currently not.
If Jalen Milroe played at Texas A&M, he would have 2 broken legs, 6 broken clavicles,
facts,
a bruised skull by the second week of the season.
But you know what's gonna be crazy is say we find ourselves in this situation. Texas wins the Big 12.
Okay.
Alabama beats Georgia, wins the SEC. Georgia has 1 loss. Say Ohio State loses to Michigan. Michigan's undefeated. They win They're
number 1.
Yeah.
They're number 1.
Michigan will be 1. I'm fine with Michigan being 1 in that scenario, by the way. I'm fine with that.
Ohio State has 1 loss.
Yep.
At that point. Say Oregon loses to Washington, or say Oregon beats Washington. Say they both have 1. Then you have all these teams that have 1 loss. Who do you put in?
Hold on. I have one more question for that.
Wild. But Texas will lose it if Alabama makes it and they don't.
Is Florida State still undefeated in this scenario?
Yeah, because I just don't see how they.
If Florida State's undefeated, then Michigan and Florida State are guaranteed.
You have 2 spots.
And they're not going to leave out the SEC.
Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Washington, Texas. You have 2 spots. Who gets?
They're not going to leave out the SEC. They have to give it to Alabama.
Georgia gets in for sure. You cannot leave out the 2-time national championship.
If Georgia gets beat by Alabama in the SEC, you're going to put Georgia in and not the SEC champ?
No, I think that Georgia and Alabama should both be in that scenario. In my opinion, I think that Georgia and Alabama are better football teams than Ohio State, Michigan, Florida State, Washington, Oregon, Texas. I think they're better than all of them.
I agree.
I'm starting to think it's going to end up being like I'm rooting for chaos at this point.
Yep.
So I'd be a fan of all these 1-loss teams just to see what happens. But the fact that they won't move Alabama above Texas makes me think that they're looking at that one game and saying,
"No, see, this is as something as an Aggie fan, you can't say things like that because you're going to have your worst nightmare happen if they're all 1-loss teams. Because if that's going to happen, they're just going to pick whichever ones make the most money, and who's going to make the most money."
I don't think that's true. I really don't think that's true.
I do. Look at the year that we were number 5 in the country, and they put Notre Dame in. And it made no sense. So they're going to put Texas in because they have 1 loss.
Looking at their resume, that's tough to defend.
I mean, if you look at it right now, how is Oklahoma number 14 in the college football playoff ranking? That's my other question. Over LSU and all these other, I mean, it's just stupid. But I mean, the committee doesn't care. The committee is going to they're like doing BCS light is what they are doing. And I'm just telling you right now, if they're all 1 loss, Texas is going to sneak in.
Here's my question.
And they're going to lose by 80.
Who's the worst conference, Power 5 conference? It's the Big 12 by far. How do you leave out?
Big 10.
Okay. I still think the Big 12 might be worse.
No. That Big Ten West is unwatchable.
I agree. But
And so is the Big Ten East, except for Michigan and Ohio State.
The Big Ten has like their two big teams at least.
Okay. And then every other team is worse than the Big 12.
I don't know.
The Big 12 is just a bunch of average schools that are all even with each other.
Well,
the Big Ten is just a bunch of dog shit.
Regardless, the Big Ten is getting in. The SEC is probably getting one in regardless. The ACC, if Florida State is undefeated, you're getting one in.
If they're undefeated. Yes.
Listen.
How do you the
have
Pac-12
to.
is probably the best conference in America.
You have to.
Disagree.
They're close.
They're pretty close to the best. They have multiple teams that are really freaking good.
They have quality, but
Oregon's probably beaten 4 ranked teams.
Their top teams aren't as good, in my opinion.
That may be true, but neither is Big 12. I would say that the top of the pack.
No. The Big 12 has a bunch of average teams, and they're all equal to each other. So that makes it entertaining because Oklahoma State can beat Oklahoma and then lose South Alabama, and then they could also get murdered by whoever they played this past week, K-State or whoever it was. They got
UCF.
They lost to UCF by 40.
I think the Pac-12 would be tough to leave them out. Like Oregon and Washington.
I don't think you leave them out. I think it's going to be 4 from 4. I think the Big 12 is going to get left out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it comes between the Pac-12 and the Big 12, I think the Big 12 gets left out.
We need Florida State to lose. That's what
you want to talk about.
Florida State's got to lose because they're not good enough.
You want to talk about a fan base that will lose their mind if Alabama gets in. Texas is going to lose their shit.
I will say this. I get it.
Austin will never hear the end.
No. But imagine it's the same thing. If it was A&M and you had beat that team at their place, not only did they beat them in Alabama.
Yeah.
That's the one that I just can't get over.
I agree with that. If it was A&M, I'd be ticked. But also, like, if you look in college football, unfortunately, the eye test has to mean something because there's only 4 teams.
Well, and
Texas should not be in the top 10 right now.
And Texas is barely skating by teams right now, and
that are terrible.
They're not good. And then you have Alabama, who's clicking on all cylinders and
there's got to be some room to allow a team to improve over the course of a year.
Yeah.
And college football does not allow that until next year.
At this point, I'm on team. Even though I think Alabama is probably the second best team in the country, I'm on team. Don't let either of them in. Because it's not good. So I'm kind of hoping that my biggest problem is what happens when Washington loses, because I don't think Washington is good. I think Washington actually sucks.
They beat Oregon. That's what they're living on.
They beat Oregon. Because their defense is so bad that they're not a playoff team. They will get
they're really good. I think they're really coached well. I don't think they're a playoff team.
Are you lobbying for that coach to be?
I was going to say, keep that in mind for later in the podcast.
I have my list. My list.
But I think Washington, I don't think will be. I think Oregon is a better team for the playoffs than Washington is because Washington's defense is so bad.
I agree. Oregon.
Every game for Washington is a shootout, no matter how crappy of a team they play.
That's another situation where you look at, if you use your eyeballs for 2 seconds, you would be like, objectively, yes, that one day Oregon lost to Washington. Had they played on any of the other 10 weeks of the season, Oregon would have won.
I honestly feel really bad for the committee this year. I really do.
I don't feel bad for them because they've done this themselves. It's going to be a tough decision. I know that.
Also, I'm just really freaking pissed that Missouri lost to LSU because that would make things so interesting.
Which they're a top 10 team now.
Yeah, they're top 9.
Which is mind-blowing.
Missouri is better than Texas.
I would agree with that.
Yes.
I think Louisville is better than Texas, too.
I think there's a lot of teams better. I think Ole Miss is probably better than Texas, legitimately.
Yeah, but I think they're better than Oregon State and Penn State, who are.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. I think Penn State's trash.
Oklahoma shouldn't be in the top 25, and they're 14. LSU, their defense is pretty trash, but Jaden Daniels is so fun to watch. I mean, what did he have? Like 650 yards this weekend on his own? He's a monster.
Dude, he should win the Heisman. It's not even a question.
Yeah, it's not close. He should win the Heisman. It's not close.
The problem is he's got 3 losses. That's his issue.
You
I
know,
understand
they
that
did.
it's a flawed system, but he's the best player.
He's the best player.
But he doesn't have that moment where he beat an actually good team.
But the problem is he put up the he beat a good team. The problem is his defense lost to the good
for
team.
sure. He's put up the game they lost against Alabama. He had like 200 yards throwing and 200 yards running.
Yeah, he's a beast. All right. Let's keep it moving. Let's talk about the games that actually happened this weekend. We're just gonna fly through them until we get to the money shot of the weekend. Ohio State whooped the Nazi Sparties.
Shocking.
I'm gonna continue to call Michigan State Nazis until they prove otherwise. Yeah,
Palestine.
that's fine. What do we think? What are our thoughts on Ohio State? Like, let's be.
Ohio State's that good, to be honest.
My problem is their offense will look really. Their defense is legit. No matter what you say, their defense is legit.
Agreed.
And Carson Beck can do it sometimes.
McCord.
No,
Sorry, we're not
McCord.
Kyle McCord. Sorry, Carson Beck is Georgia. My bad.
And Carson Beck might be one of the most underrated players.
Well, he's gotten better. He's gotten a lot better.
He has gotten a lot better, but
he looks good.
He at the beginning of the year he did not look good. But yeah, Kyle McCord can figure it out occasionally. Then they look really good.
I don't trust Kyle McCord at all.
I don't. I also don't trust. I don't trust Carson Beck either.
I almost trust him more than Kyle McCord just because of who he has around him.
I trust him more, but not like a ton.
The problem with Ohio State is they're rated where they are because they beat Notre Dame, who's actually not a good team.
Notre Dame is crap.
South Bend. And then they beat who else did they even play? That was Notre Dame playing USC.
Notre Dame is somehow ranked number 19 with 3 losses, so good for them.
They beat Penn State, who Penn State is every single year is going to lose.
Every single year we'll lose to Michigan and Ohio State.
We'll all say, "Oh, this is such a big game." Oh wait, freaking Franklin goes for 2 down 9 with 2 minutes.
Okay, you know what? Now that we're there, let's talk about it. Okay, Michigan, Penn State. The situation is you're down 15. You score a touchdown.
With 4 minutes left or something like that? 3 minutes left?
And you go for 2. And when you don't get it, now you're down 9 and you lost the game.
But the problem is in the first quarter, they were down 14-9. They scored a touchdown 14-9. And he goes for 2 to try to make it 14-11.
Yeah.
If he ever does that, they just kick a field goal, they're down 7.
No, I'm sorry. I would fire him immediately because he doesn't know math.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly what I think.
Like, how, if you're down 15 points, you can't go for 2 on the first one. Because if you don't get it, you are now mathematically eliminated from the game.
You at least got to keep yourself in it. But the first quarter decision of just chasing points all of a sudden is what ultimately screwed them anyways. So
and just every year,
you can't chase points.
Every year they don't have a quarterback. I don't know who their scout is for quarterbacks, or if it's James Franklin or whoever it is. They need to be fired because they're terrible at evaluating talent. Their quarterback always sucks.
They thought he was a savior. He's a 5-star kid coming out of high school. They thought he was a savior. He's not good. He's bad every time. Their offensive coordinator also, I think, is.
When was the last time that Penn State had a good quarterback?
Christian Hackenberg.
Try again.
He was not good.
Try again.
I can't even name one.
I cannot name one. Who is the best Penn State quarterback of all time?
Joey Harrington. Did he go?
Here we go. Here are the names.
Clifford.
Kerry Collins.
Well, Clifford was not good. Kerry Collins, heck yeah.
His stats were all right.
Matt McGloin.
Oh, heck yeah.
Okay, Todd Blackledge.
He's on TV now.
I mean, he was good-ish. I mean, just here we go. The test. 10 best quarterbacks in school history. Kerry Collins is the number one. Kerry Collins is your number one quarterback of all time. That's bad. They're never good. You might as well have an Ohio State quarterback as your quarterback at that point, except for C.J. Stroud is pretty good.
Yeah, Penn State's not good.
Penn State's not good. The Big Ten is not good. I don't know anything about any of the Big Ten teams. They could all be terrible.
They are all terrible.
But they could also be good.
Iowa's 8-2. They're terrible.
Ohio State could be good.
We all talk. It's crazy. We all talk mess about Iowa. They're 8-2. That's how bad the Big Ten is.
That's how bad the Big Ten West is.
Well, yeah, that's true.
8-2, and they're gonna fire their coaching, all their staff.
They should.
They are terrible, but they keep.
Okay, let's see. We already kind of talked about Washington. They beat Utah. I mean, my question is just it. I'm going to ask it again. Is Washington's defense worthy of the playoffs, even if they go undefeated? I'm on team no.
I'm on team no as well.
They'll give up 70 points to Georgia.
They'll lose the Pac-12 championship game and they'll be out of it.
Yeah. Well, so what? You're going to put Oregon?
Oregon's going to make it, yeah.
Oregon's going to make it.
I hope they do because they're better than Washington. We kind of already talked about Texas. They survived against TCU. They blew another 20-point lead. Good for them. So my whole thing on Texas, they're not that good, obviously. But they in the second half, they suck.
Yeah, they're terrible.
So that means Sark is bad at his job, right?
So
he doesn't make adjustments.
Wasn't it 13-7 or something like that in the third quarter or in the second quarter? And then right before half, they scored 2 touchdowns because of like dumb turnovers.
Yep.
Because I was like thinking, oh, it's 13-7. They'll probably lose because they'll give up 40 in the second half. And then they scored 14 right before half. That kind of iced it.
Yeah. But, I mean, it's just like apparently they can't make adjustments in the second half.
Yeah, or Stark's like, oh, we're winning, so we're good. No need to make adjustments.
But, I mean, they're going to win the Big 12 because, I don't know. Who are they even playing as of right now in the Big 12 championship?
I believe there might be a 3-way tie for – it's going to be Oklahoma State, probably.
No, Oklahoma State lost.
Yeah, but I still think they have the tiebreaker against
It's still Oklahoma State.
Yeah, they have the tiebreaker.
So, currently, Texas would play in the Big 12 championship Oklahoma State, who is 7-3 with a 26-point loss to South Alabama at home. They lost to Iowa State, who is unranked, and they lost to UCF 45-3. This is the team that Texas will play in the Big 12 championship as of right now.
It's crazy.
I mean,
we should have stayed in the Big 12.
The ACC is a joke, but the Big 12 is the biggest joke of them all as of right now, for sure. And it's not close. We already talked about Bama. They're good. All right, let's get to the fun. Let's just get to the fun stuff. We did it, y'all. I know that we got our solid 12 views last week, and those were all of the boosters at Texas A&M University, and plus Ross Bjork, and we fired Jimbo Fisher.
We won twice this weekend.
Although, I will say this. How do you fire a guy after you win by 41 points? That's kind of crappy.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
No, you got to fire him after Ole Miss. You won by 41, and you're like, no, that's not enough.
No, definitely should have fired him before Ole Miss or after Ole Miss. Definitely should have done it.
They did basically because they did it the next. I mean, they met next week.
They made the decision early last week.
Yeah, but
I mean, Billy Lucci was talking about it like he knew like Thursday.
It just looks terrible when you go out and win by 41 points, and then you're like, and you're fired.
I felt like Jimbo had because the way he walked off the field was a little weird. It
also makes sense because it's also the fact of we're going into Abilene Christian. We're going to win. What if he beat LSU?
Better.
You can't fire him if he beats LSU.
Sure you can.
You can't fire him if he wins 3 more games.
That's what Bjork said, too, that it makes it harder to do if you beat LSU.
It makes it harder.
I mean,
then there's more people sitting there going, oh, you should have let him ride it out.
LSU's really, I mean, they've got a quarterback, but the rest of their team is like, all right.
I think the real reason you can't wait is because of this whole early signing period. You got to try to get somebody in the door and try to keep the class together. Yada yada. You can't let it. You can't. You. It really is important. Like you can't let everyone jump ship.
No, exactly. That's why Elijah makes sense for the head coaching.
All right, before we get into the new head coaches, let's talk about Mississippi State.
They're terrible.
Is this the first game ever that two coaches got fired?
I can't. I thought about this for at least 3 hours today. Like just trying.
Both coaches got fired.
The winning coach got fired first. And then Mississippi State was like, oh, shit. Maybe we should fire ours, too.
Do you think they did that in response to – because I kind of
I think so. I think part of it was they were like, hey, we have to do something. Like, this guy just beat us by 41 points and still got fired, and we're going to let this guy keep his job? Like, no.
All right, let's talk about the game itself. What were the things that we liked?
Henderson looked great.
He's probably what we needed all year because he can run around.
He can run.
I mean, Wigman can also run around.
The games, the O-line looked a little bit better, but like Henderson being able to dumb down the offense and just say, if it's not there, take off. If it's not there, take off.
Yeah, he's pretty fast. I had never even heard of the kid until –
He's athletic, dude.
I kept reading on Twitter. They kept talking about this kid. I saw some pictures of him being like, it's time or something like that. And I was like, who is this? Never even heard of him.
And his parents got to go to the game. The kid may never have another game like that. His career may just
play him the rest of the year.
That might be the high point of his career. But
the rest of the year.
For sure. But
do you know how terrible I felt when Mississippi State returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown?
Oh, dude, I sent y'all a text.
It's over.
I literally sent y'all a text and said, we suck.
I know.
I didn't even see it. It was on the other game, and then all of a sudden it goes off, and it's our game. And I see the kickoff team running out, and I'm like, or the kick return team. I was like, oh, I guess we're receiving. It was already 7-0. I didn't even see it.
I was driving home from Independence, Missouri, and I was like, all right, well, let's do this. And then I got that text while I was driving, and I was like, oh, gosh. It begins because I told y'all like that Mississippi State is the game that we always lose, and so when Johnny was like, "We really suck," I was like, "Oh my gosh, are we already
pissed?"
But thankfully, it was only the first play of the game.
I was mad, dude.
And then after that, I mean, we
dominated them.
We put it on them early and often,
as we should. But yeah, that first touchdown that they had, I was like, no fucking way. It's like, we're really gonna do this.
Yeah, but then Henderson literally went right down the field in about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Right after that, we looked fine, but I got nervous real quick.
All right, it's time to talk about the future head coaches of Texas A&M. I'm gonna just say some names that are currently betting favorites. I will also tell you what school they are from for our uneducated listeners who don't know where they are from. These are not in any order. Okay, so just because I say them first or last does not mean that they are a betting favorite or a loser. I'm just some names that I saw out there.
Yep.
On the wire.
Yep.
Let me just give you a yes or a no. That's what we're talking. That's what I want from y'all. And then we will discuss in more detail after. Okay, I just want a yes or a no. Would you take them? It's not if they are your preferred person. Is it a yes? Would you take them as your coach?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Mike Elko.
Yes.
I'm a no, but that's fine. Okay. Jeff Traylor.
I want to be a yes so bad, but I'm a no.
I'm a no.
I also am a no.
I want to be a yes, but no.
Not a big enough program. I'm sorry, can't do it.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Dan Lanning.
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Kalen DeBoer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, yes.
My-
Although
Reasons that I could be.
he needs a new DC if he's coming here because you can't have that defense coming to the
Also,
SEC.
his entire career, he's been in the Northeast. It gives me bad Brian Harsin vibes with Auburn.
Yeah. Lane Given.
No.
I'm a yes.
I'm a no.
Nope.
I don't think it will ever work.
Field of defense, and we'll talk.
I think he said too many things that we would lose players so fast.
Mike Norvell.
Nope. I don't like the Florida State to A&M pipeline.
No.
I am also a no because what has he really done?
He's had
I
one
think
good year. He's been there for 7 years.
I think it'd be very comical. Like it'd be funny as shit.
It would be
We just
until
stole 2 coaches in a row.
yeah, I mean it would be until 4 years from now we're doing
and
the
then
same
we're
conversation.
asking for him to be fired again. Yeah.
All right, and then we get into the fun ones. Chris Kleiman or however you say his name.
Yeah. He's won everywhere he's been, yes. And he's cheap. Not that it matters. It's not my money, but
I don't know.
My answer is no because I watched this man coach in person and it was atrocious.
I didn't like his in-game decision-making.
There is no way that Kansas State should have lost to Texas in that game, and they lost.
Agreed.
Texas had 6 turnovers, and they still lost. I watched him coach a disaster class. It was awful.
He didn't force him to score either, which was dumb.
I might sound like an idiot because I don't know how to pronounce this guy's last name. Lance Leopold?
Kansas guy.
Kansas guy.
I think I'm a yes on him. He wins.
I didn't say all the names. But
Okay.
yeah, this guy's from Kansas. K-State was Chris Kleiman. I like Lance. I'll take Lance.
I will too.
If he wasn't so old,
Is he that old?
he's like 67, guys.
Who cares?
No, I'm out.
If the president can be 81 years old, then my football coach can be
Okay.
67.
I don't want my president being a day over 57.
But
let
they
alone
are.
my football coach.
Both of your candidates are going to be over
I'm-
the age of
I'm
He's
78.
59, you fool. He ain't
Huh?
that old. He's 59. He ain't that old.
He's still old.
I was gonna say he don't look 67.
I'm not against him. I do like him.
He's won everywhere he's been.
He has, but
And then what about, last but not least, Elijah Drinkwitz from Missouri?
no.
No, I don't think I like him.
Why?
Culture fit, dude.
Look at
That
what he has
does
turned
not
a
work.
crappy Missouri program
That
into.
does not work. Culture fit does not work.
Something about him just rubs me the wrong way.
I
He's a
disagree.
nerd.
Give me a nerd. Look at all these coaches that are
Fucking nerd.
dominating in the NFL. Give me a nerd who wins games.
He's a fucking nerd.
All I hear when we do the NFL podcast is how, oh, I love Mike McDaniel. He's so fun. He's so blah, 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 blah.
Not for me.
Give
You don't
me
hear
the
that shit from
nerds.
me.
Mike McDaniel is awesome.
You don't hear that shit from me. Give me a gangster ass
Something
motherfucker.
about, I just Drinkowitz. I just don't. For some reason, I just don't like him. I don't know why. Same way I feel about Dabo. Dabo won. I don't like him.
Did you see he got asked today about the A&M job?
Yeah, I saw that. They all are.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's getting asked about it.
What are you saying about the A&M job? Dion's response was literally, "I pay taxes in Colorado."
I already don't go to
Dabo just
Texas
said I'm
A&M
worried
games.
about right now.
Yeah,
I don't go to Texas A&M games as of right now. Not for any personal reason, just because College Station is an expensive place to spend the night on game night. Now that they've made College Station fancy, but if Dion is the coach, I ain't going because we're gonna suck.
Oh,
that'll never happen. That people keep saying that will never happen.
no. I think
I would take Dabo. I wouldn't like it, but I would take it.
Dabo
But-
is just the younger version of Jimbo.
I will take it if Dabo would go for cheaper, which he never would.
Dabo's a great cult leader.
Well,
So-
I agree with that.
Which we're a cult school. It
Yeah,
worked
he
out
could-
perfectly.
He could really lead the
I
cult
disagree
really
because
well.
Dabo is Jim. The reason Jimbo was not a great hire in hindsight is because he's so dang stubborn,
And because
You never-
it's because his
Dabo-
offense sucks.
and he won't change it because he's stubborn. Dabo
Right.
is also stubborn.
Hear me out.
I don't like Dabo. If we hire Dabo, I'm gonna be so.
Why
mad.
do you say his name so weird?
I don't know. It's Dabo, Dobby, Seleni, whatever.
It's Dabo.
Dabo. I don't care.
I also don't think I would enjoy watching that man run out of the tunnel every day.
And if you got to watch your head coach run out first in front of all the players, that's not a good look.
I don't care about that at all.
Not a good look.
I'll be out there singing "Power" by Kanye West in the stadium, going crazy. I mean, it'll be a good time.
I hate Dabo. If we hire Dabo, I'm gonna be so mad.
So who do we want?
I want Glenn Schumann,
I don't even know who that is.
defensive coordinator, University of Georgia.
I don't want a guy who's never been a coach before.
Worked for Saban.
Nope. I don't want a guy who's never been a coach before.
Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart had never been a head coach.
Got lucky.
I disagree. This dude.
He's the one Saban disciple who's been successful. Everyone else sucks.
Listen. This is kind of what I want. This is where we're going to have a fight. I want to be able to go out and pick my head coach as an offensive mind, but then go get the best defensive coordinator I physically can find.
Name a recent national title winning.
I don't care if they've won a national title.
No.
I'm going somewhere else. I'm going somewhere else with this.
In the past 20 years.
I want this is, and I don't even know if I really want this. I want Dan Lanning more than anything, but if I can't get Dan Lanning and I want to make a splash and I want an offense that's just going to be electric.
You want Lane Kiffin.
I want Lane Kiffin, but if Lane ain't coming, give me Cliff.
No.
Give me Cliff.
That was the worst thing you've ever said on this podcast.
When I saw
Cliff, bro.
Kingsbury, I'm like, y'all are on drugs.
Give me Cliff.
He couldn't win a game at Texas Tech.
That's Texas Tech.
I want Cliff. Hey, I want Cliff as
Pat Mahomes.
I want Cliff Kingsbury to be the quarterback coach.
Absolutely.
Or the OC. Sure. Let him be an OC.
He's not a head coach.
I want a traditional head coach. I want
Dan Lanning. That's who
I want to somehow bring back Mike Elko as defensive coordinator, but that's not going to happen.
No, you have to give him the head coaching job or he ain't coming back.
Yeah. I want a good DC. I want a traditional coaching structure. And what I want the most is and this is going to hurt for everyone who is an Aggie to listen to this. I would like for us to understand that we are not a top dog. I would like for us to understand our place in college football.
This is where we're going to fight.
We might have the money, and that is good. And so from there, we need to play just traditional coaching style.
There is Austin Williamson.
We need a good head coach manager, a good OC, a good DC. I don't want my head coach to be calling plays on either side of the ball.
This is Austin. There's Austin Williamson, the Cover 3 podcast, versus everyone else in the world that believes that A&M is actually a top 5 to 10 job in the country.
I'm not saying that it's not a top job.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I don't want our coach to be covering. I don't want them to be calling plays on either side of the ball.
Fine with that. Totally fine with that. But to say that we're not a top program, the history of wins is not what makes a program a program. We are a top 5 destination for a coach.
I don't know if we're top 5.
There's nothing. Name me 5 schools.
I'll do it off the top of my head.
That can give you more than A&M can. More. Not the same amount, but
the University of Texas, number 1. They are the number 1 brand in all of college sports. You're just wrong. You're just looking at it through Aggie colored lenses. UT has more money and has a better brand than A&M does, and it's not close.
I'm not saying brand. I'm saying more resources, more like
yes.
No,
all
they
of
don't.
it.
Texas
yes,
is not. No, Texas cares more about fucking pride parade marches on campus than their fucking football team.
No, they do not. They
their
spend more money.
Go to the game. 80% of fans at UT games are over the age of 35. What are
That's
you fucking
fine.
talking about?
I'm not talking about their fans. They will give more money to their program than Texas A&M will every time.
Schools don't fucking care, dude.
Alabama.
Nick Saban even said we need to do better. A&M buys better classes than us.
That's fine.
Nick Saban even said we have
Alabama has more clout, which is more important in my opinion.
For sure.
Than anything. Like people will want to go play for Nick Saban over whoever we put as coach.
I'm not. If Alabama,
you could put Bill Belichick at freaking Texas A&M, and people would rather play for Nick Saban.
I'm saying if every coaching job in America was open right now, every coach died. They had a head coaching summit, and the building burnt down. Everyone died. God, hopefully that never happens.
Texas is still number 1. Ohio State is definitely number 2.
Why?
Money.
Ohio State's number 2, probably. I don't know that we're top 5. I think we're top 10, probably.
I think if every coach is dead, then maybe crack the top 5 in that situation.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying,
but that's not the situation that we live in.
I'm not saying looking. Okay, Nick Saban could come out, win a national title this year, and come out and say, "I'm done." Okay.
Hey, let's flip it to basketball, Jonathan. Let's pretend that you are a 17-year-old trying to pick where you want to go play basketball.
Correct. Kentucky's not a top 5 destination.
Duke all day long is number 1.
Duke's probably number 1.
It's not close.
North Carolina is probably up there.
Kansas is probably up there.
Kansas, I don't know.
You're going to all of the historic programs before you're going to Villanova, who pays a lot of money.
Dude, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. It's not off historical basis. Yes, these programs have trophies in their trophy case, but do they have the resources to continue for the next 50 years?
I'm just saying the players you're looking for are going to go to the history matters.
No, I understand.
Who was good when they were a child?
Here's what I think the difference is. Both things can be true.
Texas I don't think coaches give a fuck about history. I really don't.
I agree. This is what I'm saying. There's a difference between being a top program that wins and losses. We are not that. We've not been that.
100%. Wins and losses don't matter on coaching hire.
Job based on the fact that Texas A&M is going to give you whatever resources you want. We built, incredible facilities. We got the money. We just never have hired the right dang dude.
Yep. And you're still going to lose to Alabama and LSU and Mississippi State.
You may not. You hire the right dude. You may not.
People were saying that about Georgia before they hired Kirby Smart. They hired Kirby Smart. They can't lose.
Alabama went 20 years.
Terrible. If you hire the right dude, and it may not be – like hiring Jimbo Fisher in hindsight, at the time, awesome, looked great. Dude was 85 years old, wouldn't change.
Alabama went 20 years, and they weren't good.
And Georgia,
what coach right now beats Alabama consistently?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's why we're screwed.
But that's why you have to go and get a big name. You have to try at a big name.
No. I'm definitely on team go get a big name. But
I don't care.
My point is, if you are a big name, why would you go to A&M to go play against Saban every year?
Okay, fine. Okay, sure. Instead of Dan Lanning coming to A&M, let him stay at Oregon, and now he has to play Ohio State and Michigan every year.
They'll be in the Big Ten West, and they'll play Iowa, Minnesota.
But they'll lose in the Big Ten title game, and they never get a chance at the playoff.
No, 12-team playoff, going undefeated all year, losing in the Big Ten championship game. You're still in
12-team playoff. Forgot.
But instead of competing in the SEC West,
sweet, awesome. SEC West.
Well, sorry, the SEC, whatever they're going to do. Have we decided on
pods or whatever?
I mean, if I'm Dan Lanning, I also don't want to come to A&M and have to play Texas and Oklahoma every year because historically, Texas A&M is the smallest brother of those two programs.
I agree with the premise, but I also think coaches must see it differently because
coaches don't give a fuck about that, dude.
He could have been undefeated.
This is what they care. This is all they care about. Dan,
Disagree.
you know what Dan Lanning's gonna say when
Disagree.
we call him? How much are you gonna pay me? Are you gonna give me
don't
all
think
the
Dan
resources
Lanning I don't think
want?
Dan Lanning is coming to A&M, but
My problem is Dan Lanning's not the guy because Oregon has the money to compete. Nike has the money to
Do they?
compete.
They've lost two
but
coaches
people
to
always-
the SEC.
Yeah, people always
They've
say
lost
that.
2 coaches to the SEC.
Willie Taggart left. I mean, what's Chip Kelly went to the NFL. Willie Taggart left. What was the other guy? It was
The guy that went to freaking
Those
left
2
there
coaches
and went to
weren't
Auburn.
good.
agreed. Oh yeah, freaking Cristobal.
Cristobal literally left there after being in a playoff game and went to Auburn.
They weren't good in hindsight, but they were good at Oregon. Cristobal was good at Oregon. And Willie Taggart.
Coaches do not give a flying fuck about wins and losses of history.
I think that I agree with you there. Specifically when it comes to Oregon coaches, I think that they know when their team is actually good or not. And I think that Dan Lanning knows that he can create a good program in Oregon.
But okay, I mean we're not going to agree on it. But
I do wonder how the Oregon program changes. Same with USC. Now you're going to the Big Ten, right? And you're going to sell these recruits I'm playing against in the middle of winter, playing against Iowa, Nebraska.
You're guaranteeing them that you're going to make the playoff every year.
But you got these Southern California kids that are like,
are you? You still have to play USC.
Nebraska.
Okay, you have 1 game a year that matters.
You still have to play Washington.
Also, those conferences are about to get jacked up too because they can't do divisions. They can't do like traditional divisions.
No, they're not going to do divisions. And they don't want to do divisions because they don't want the Ohio State, Michigan bullshit every year.
Well, they do want
They
that.
want to change that.
No, they want that every year.
No, they want them to play in a title game. They don't want them to play in the regular season and then go play Iowa for
That's no guarantee. That's no guarantee. I think they want them to play in a regular season game because that's money every year.
Yeah.
Well, no, regular season, yes, but they want a title game that's not Iowa versus Ohio State.
I get that point. I agree with that. But I think no matter what, Michigan, Ohio State are playing every year.
I'm just saying there's like I probably listened to 17 different podcasts this week just on the A&M hire stuff, and it's Austin Williamson, Cover 3, and nobody else that is not saying Texas A&M might be a top 5 destination for any coach in the country.
I mean, it's the #1 destination for anyone in the country because we're going to pay them $76 million to get fired.
I didn't come up with this hypothetical coach. All the coaches are dead thing. I heard this on multiple podcasts. If no coach exists and we're starting the whole fucking thing over, even with the history and everything, A&M's probably a top 5.
Our next coach will get fired, and we will still owe them $60 million.
No,
guaranteed.
I don't think that'll happen. Ross Bjork said
Ross even said you ain't doing that. He
then
said
you're not gonna bring these big guys in because you're not gonna give them the big guaranteed contract.
Dude, all I'm saying is if we can get Sloss to leave TCU after 20 years, we can find a way to get somebody to leave Oregon.
I'm just saying, if you're getting Lanning for the same money, if you're Lanning, why do you leave?
Oh, Lanning's he'll get more money than he's getting at Oregon.
He'll get more money.
Not guaranteed money. Really guaranteed. Not guaranteed if you get paid.
But if he's getting paid, what's he getting paid at Oregon? Probably $5 million.
He'll get more money. The money's not an object. The problem with Lanning, we've proved the money's not an object.
I mean, yes, we have. Yeah, what's Lanning getting paid at Oregon?
He's getting paid $7. But the problem with that is his buyout's like $20 million. We just spent $75 million.
Well, no, we spent 7.25 for the next 8 years.
We're guaranteeing that we're paying $76 million for a guy to not coach for us.
True.
That's
called true commitment to the craft.
And no one is going to get that, as we've said. No, we're not going to give out the big guaranteed contract anymore.
No chance.
So that diminishes what coaches we attract.
But you can pay a guy $8.5 million, and that's pretty average these days for a college football coach.
Yeah.
I mean, but what did Jonathan just say? We're paying Jimbo?
7.25 or 7.26
For how many years?
8 more years.
That doesn't average $76 million.
Also,
but we know him.
that's
Or
not
something
total.
like that. It's
Hey,
something like that. I saw it earlier.
19 up front. They had to pay 19 up front. That's kind of fake though, because all these TV deals got redone. So every school's about to make a ton of money next year.
I know, but it's still like A&M is going to be very careful, in my opinion, on what they do next.
Oh, I agree. They have to hire. This is kind of make or break for the program, I believe. You got to hire the right guy now. You swung and missed a lot.
And they're going to be very stingy with that contract. I mean, it's going to be a big number. It's A&M. It's going to be a big number.
Ross Bjork literally said today on TV, they said, "Do you regret doing that, giving them the guaranteed deal?" Which it wasn't his fault. It was Woodward, he gave him the guaranteed deal, and he said, "Yeah, we probably wouldn't do that if in hindsight." And they said, "What is will you give that to somebody else?" And he said, "No, it would probably be based on incentives. There'll be tiers. If you make it to the playoffs, you get this. If you make it to this, you get this."
But that right there is going to just take away some of the coaches that are there for the money.
I agree to some point, but also I think a lot of those deals are set up somewhat like that.
I think also the next I think the next thing that Texas A&M offers, the years is going to be very short.
Yeah, it might be like a 4-year initial deal or something, which is pretty short for college football contract.
Which is pretty short for a college football contract. So I mean,
deals.
I'm very intrigued to see where this goes.
I think it's gonna end up I honestly don't want it to be like this big splash. We go get Dabo. I don't like Dabo anyways.
A&M's track record is really, really bad.
We've done this many times. We stole Dennis Franchione from Alabama.
Yep.
Who Alabama wanted, and we stole him. He was absolutely terrible.
Yep.
Bear Bryant got stolen from us, and he was the greatest college football coach of all time.
Debatable.
Nick Saban and Bear Bryant, whatever. I don't want it to be the big splash because we've tried that. We've tried it before. We've tried it a couple times. It doesn't work for us.
I'm okay with the big splash if it's going to work.
Hey, so back on Blake's point, is Alabama going to name their field the Nick Saban Field at the Bear Bryant Stadium?
Yeah, what's their stadium called?
Bryant
Denny.
Brian Denny. What's going to happen there? Are they going to do a weird Texas thing where it's like the Williams Campbell Field at Darrell K. Royal Stadium?
I bet they just give him he'll have a statue. He might have a little corner of the stadium or something.
Nick Saban deserves way more than a statue.
He'll give him something. It'd be weird to not just be Bryant Denny though.
Yeah. Hey, we got to go to an A&M game next year. I don't know what game it is, but we got to go. That needs to be the trip next year for the podcast. I know this year we're not going to make a podcast trip probably, but
Thanksgiving weekend, A&M Texas, first one back in.
No, I'm not doing that. It's gonna be way too expensive.
I'm going. I don't give a fuck. I'm going.
I honestly will be better off locking myself away in my house alone and not letting anyone see how I feel about that.
Now, I would rather, if we would rather do that, if we all went to somebody's house and then just did a live stream of the podcast during the A&M Texas game. That would be fun, but we should also go to an A&M game. I think it would be more fun to go to A&M away games in all of the SEC places and then maybe a home game. But I was thinking about that the other day. Instead of going to an NFL game every year, going to an A&M game away or College Station, wherever it would be. But
yeah, make that happen easy.
I'm holding my piss for an hour.
All right. Well. On that note,
I don't have coaching search today.
Well, we can stall until he comes back. But what I want you to think about as we're stalling, I just want you to give me a name. Okay, when he comes back, I'm gonna give you a name, or you're gonna give me a name on who you think the next Texas A&M football coach is going to be. While y'all are thinking, we just want to continue to say thank you to all of our listeners and subscribers. And Jonathan apparently has 3 new people to listen. If you would please subscribe as well and share with your friends. We're sorry that Shane couldn't be here. We'll get Shane's opinion next week on the A&M coaching changes because, he's been a very big leader of the Fire Bimbo movement that we've had. We're not going to have any merchandise anytime soon because I looked into that and it's really freaking expensive and we're not doing that nonsense. I can't afford that right now. So, nothing. I was stalling for time while you were gone. And next week, Texas A&M is going to beat the crap out of Abilene Christian. And I can't believe we didn't say this earlier. We're bowl eligible, gentlemen.
Wow. Made a bowl.
So good for us.
That was the goal, Jimbo, right?
That was the goal.
It was the goal. I think that comment actually got him fired.
I think so too.
That's the stupidest thing a head coach could ever fucking
One
say.
thing about Jimbo, I think he sealed his own fate because he kept having excuses. Everything was always an excuse. It's like, dude, we've given you everything you could want, and you still have excuses. It's been 6 years. You can't say we don't have the guys who were young after 6 years. Whose fault is it that we're young? It is your fault that we're young. In year 2, you can say that.
All right. I teased this while Jonathan was taking a leak. All I want is a name on who you think will be the next Texas A&M head football coach. Not who you want. Who do you think will be the next Texas A&M football coach? We will quiz Shane on this at the beginning of next week's pod as well.
What if it comes out?
If I remember. If it comes out before then we won't quiz Shane. But I don't think it's going to happen because I think that the coach that it's going to be is in the middle of their season. So I just want a name. Whoever would like to go first, that's fine.
I don't even know what to guess.
Come on, man up and just guess.
I think it's Mike Elko.
I think it is too, probably.
Oh, I think it's Elijah Drinkwitz from Missouri for sure.
That's a wild statement.
Is
his name even being mentioned?
I don't care. Who has done the best job of coaching this year and we could get for cheap? That's who I think we should go get.
He's been there for a while, and this is his one good year, which we've seen.
I think Mike Elko is just.
I think it's definitely not going to be Elko.
I think it is.
For some reason, I have this weird feeling that I don't know what I feel. I don't know. I honestly, if you held a gun to my head, I wouldn't even have a guess.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised either. And this has been like.
If we're getting Elko, it better be super cheap.
Texas has been freaking just all over this. Could you give damn, I just went blank. The active head coach right now.
Oh, the interim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elijah Robinson.
It's not happening.
Dude, everyone on Texas is like, I think we should give him a chance.
Great recruiter.
He's a great recruiter. He's the best. He's
never been. He's not even calling plays on offense or defense.
Yeah, it's not happening.
That's what Austin wants. Austin doesn't want someone calling plays.
They probably should have done that in their career at some point.
No, probably true.
I want someone who knows how to be an administrator, and he's not it.
Yeah.
He's also like 30.
No, I do think it's Mike Elko, but
I don't like if it's Elko. I'm gonna be a little upset about that. I don't like Elko. I mean, I like Elko. I think he's a great defensive coordinator, but he's been a head coach for one single year at Duke,
and they're not that good.
They're not that good.
He's
a great defensive coordinator.
I know Riley Leonard got injured a lot, but they're not that good. In a really bad ACC.
Also, why did he leave? He will be a hero there for the next 30 years if he stayed there. They will never fire him.
I personally think that we're going for Dan Lanning.
I did see that there was a flight out of Easterwood Airport to Eugene, Oregon.
I mean, I think Dan Lanning is definitely our top prospect. The question is, can we turn Dan Lanning?
I think we can.
He, based on what he talked like last night, and I know this is the kiss of death for coaches. They always say this, but he sounded pretty. He was like, "These coaches are motivated by the money. I'm not motivated by the money. I'm not here. I see the long-term vision of this place," which I understand. These coaches say that and they leave the next day, but for some reason, his sounded a little different.
I mean,
my thing is that Dan Lanning, when we land him, he's gonna all of a sudden be terrible. He's gonna suck.
That's my problem too. Is I kind of have the thought that no matter who we get, that we're going to suck. So it doesn't matter who we get.
Hey, I don't care if we suck. As long as we beat Texas on Thanksgiving, that's gonna be a great day.
it'll be a good day.
I'm going to be an absolute wreck the day we play them the first time.
Oh, and I just thought about it. Next year, I will be with my in-laws for Thanksgiving, and I'm just not going.
Yeah, I wouldn't go either.
Just not go.
I mean, Jonathan, I cannot go to my in-laws on Thanksgiving if it's. I don't know if you
we
know
know
this.
we're playing on Thanksgiving.
I'm sure we will. But
They have to let us play Thanksgiving.
let's just say that we play on Thanksgiving. My in-laws are third generation UT. Everyone is UT fan. I just won't go.
I wouldn't go either.
No. You have to go.
No.
But we need you to record. We need you to have a live camera.
No.
I would literally be like, "I'm sick. Sorry, I'm at home."
Yep, I will fake COVID a year late. I'll be got COVID. Sorry.
No, all we have to do is we just say, "Hey, the podcast is doing a live recording during the game. So we're gonna go sit at the house. We're gonna watch the game, and then if we lose, you just don't go back over there."
I'm fine. I have no problems. I will be a gracious loser or winner.
Okay,
and
fine.
take my
If
licks.
we win, you don't go back over there.
No, if we win, I will also go over there and I will not say anything because I am not an asshole. As someone who works with two people that are Denver Broncos fans, who are now acting like the Denver Broncos are the greatest team on the planet, it just drives me insane. I have watched my team win 2 Super Bowls, and I have said nothing to rub it in their face because I am a nice coworker. But the Broncos beat the Chiefs 1 time out of 17 games, and they just were like, "Y'all suck," and I'm gonna rub it in your face. And I'm like, dude, just
Also, I feel that.
it's like, shut up. Like, be a gracious winner or loser.
Here's my
You
problem.
lost 16 consecutive games to me, and I said nothing. Shut up.
Y'all do suck.
Here's my problem. Here's my problem. If let's say A&M beats Texas, you rub it in these Texas fans' faces.
They're gonna beat us next year.
Somehow it's going to backfire on you, and then it's just going to be terrible.
Same reason why I will not talk any trash to Tyreek Hill during this season until after they have been eliminated from the playoffs. Because
I work with a Giants fan, and I walked in Monday morning, and I was literally like, I just said, "How do you let us put up a 50 burger?" That's it. That's all you can say.
I mean, you only scored 49, but it's fine.
It was best burger.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just like you gotta take your licks, and you also gotta win with grace.
Also, the greatest emotion I ever feel when my sports teams wins is just relief. So I'm not like ready to rub it in people's faces. I'm just like, thank God I can't get it in my face.
Yeah, and I mean, the best episode that this podcast has ever had is when A&M lost to Mississippi State last year, and
Dude,
Allison came on.
I'm not
And
gonna lie.
She got to come in and just do her thing, and we were all fine.
I almost sent her the code for the video and just had her pop in.
You should have. It would have been great.
Just revenge back because Roger texted me 30 seconds after the game ended, and he just goes, "We almost had you." And I was like, "Dude, that's fucking funny."
That's great, right? These are the kind of things. When you lose, you should have a sense of humor, or you should just be able to take the loss. And when you win, you should be like, "All right, I'm glad we won," and that's all. That's all we need.
Thank you. Thank the Lord we won, and nobody can rub it in my face.
Yeah. And you know what? Next year, I'm sure that's not going to happen because we currently don't have a head coach.
Neither do they.
But
That's true.
that's true.
And their list that I listened to a podcast today talking about.
Their list is going to be so sad.
Depressing.
Yeah,
No,
their list is
Chadwell,
so sad.
Jamie Chadwell's a good coach.
Their list is depressing, bro.
Next
We're
year
over
we
here
play
talking
them.
about Dan Lanning. Urban Meyer came up into multiple
Oh,
ESPN segments today.
That's
I mean,
And I was just sitting there going,
Harbaugh's
bro.
like stepping 2 feet inside of Texas.
I mean, Urban Meyer has won a national championship within 2 years of everywhere he's been. So is that really that bad?
I would take Urban. I would take it. He's not going nowhere though.
No. Also, I watched him on Fox, Big Noon Kickoff or whatever it's called. Urban might have dementia.
He's been
He
saying
couldn't.
issues for a while.
He can't put two words together.
Turning it into old Lee Corso.
He like says word and then just like stalls. Like that's how he talks. It's terrible.
Well, he ain't coming to Texas A&M. People need to stop.
If Urban Meyer is the next A&M head coach, I will no longer talk about A&M football for sure.
I will have to give up all morals for 2 years so we can win a national title.
I mean, I will continue to watch A&M football. I just won't talk about it. I will just can't do it. I mean, also, if Urban Meyer becomes the next head football coach of Texas A&M, to all my ladies out on Northgate, please protect your butthole, all right?
Yeah.
Because you know what's going to happen.
There's 2 rogue fingers.
Yep.
I do have something to say. I need to pick a fight.
Nope.
With another podcast. So we're going to start beef. I'm going to need you to do a little short video on this. Cover 3 can suck my nutsack.
I don't even know what Cover 3 is.
I don't either.
They have a huge following.
I feel like I listen to a lot of podcasts. I've never even heard of that one.
Fuck those guys, dude. Fuck those guys so bad. Like, everything about them, I don't know how they get paid to talk about football, but if they're getting paid, we should have millions of subscribers. Like, this is bullshit. These guys suck. Big monkey balls. Like, they are terrible. And they hate A&M, and they can go jump off a fucking bridge after playing in traffic.
Jonathan, I got
those guys.
Most people hate A&M for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Dude, I don't know what this dude's problem was today. Like, he was just taking jabs.
Why do you listen to these 3 idiots?
I got to look it up now, too, I guess.
I mean, the Cover 3 podcast, after visiting their YouTube channel for 10 seconds, is the same quality as our freaking podcast.
Dude, they have subscribers, though.
They have 38,000 subscribers. Their difference is that they post like 4 videos a day.
They do a lot.
That's their difference, is that they have now got their subscribers, so then it's now their full-time job instead of
that dumb dude with the gray hair.
Well, fuck them and fuck that podcast.
All right. That's our official stance here on the Football is King podcast. You know what? I'm going to say just a solid blanket, fuck them and fuck their podcast, all the podcasts out there. This is the only podcast I listen to.
I don't know. I like Josh Pate.
Me too. I like him too.
He loves the A&M job.
No, he doesn't love the A&M job. He says he's logical about the A&M job.
He's logical. Yeah, correct. He's logical.
Well, good marketing, guys, on that. I'm really glad that, y'all just immediately were like, you know what? Y'all should listen to this podcast instead.
No, just listen to us and then listen to him. He cusses a lot less.
You know what? Hey, we've been keeping it pretty clean.
Jonathan.
Until I just said suck monkey balls. Like,
and Kentucky's about to lose, so he's about to really start cursing.
Shut your fucking mouth.
We're an hour and 15 minutes into this podcast, and like we just got to suck my monkey balls.
If you make it 1 minute and 33 seconds left in basketball time, you're gonna see me lose.
I'm not doing that. I'm ending it right now because I would like to go to sleep.
Me too.
Well, so, just know if I lose, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
I mean, we already know you're gonna be pissed. Your team sucks.
Fifth best team in the SEC. Fifth best team in the SEC.
Your standard as a classic blue blood is to be in the race for the national championship, and you don't have it.
And Calipari can't get you there.
No,
Is
that's why I
Calipari going to
wanted-
survive this year? Let's talk that. Let's talk
why I
that.
wanted Chris
Talk
Beard.
about that. They've
I
given him
wanted
a
Chris
lifetime
Beard. I
contract.
wanted Chris Beard.
They've given him a lifetime contract several times that he might get fired from his lifetime contract.
How do you even fire
I mean,
someone?
at least
from a
it's
lifetime
impressive that you can
Well,
fire
look,
someone from a
Bill
lifetime.
Self also has a lifetime contract, and he just signed an extension on his lifetime contract. How does that even make sense?
Oh my
It's like
God,
the-
why are
it's
we
like the-
shooting so many fucking threes.
It's like the United States judiciary system where it's like, yeah, we're going to give you like
Life,
3 life sentences. It's
but
like,
you're out
nope.
at like.
Why does Hunter Dickinson have 27 points and 21 rebounds?
I don't know, but I'm ending the podcast now.
30 seconds. It's
I'm
30
done with it.
seconds. It's 30
No,
seconds.
because I'm way ahead of you, and I'm gonna ruin it for you.
Oh yeah, let's
You
go. This is great.
motherfuckers.
All right, hey, we gotta talk about. We forgot to talk about our gambling from last week. It wasn't very good. That's that. So yeah, I'm gonna keep stalling as this happens. Oh, Kentucky's down 3 points.
Yeah.
Timeout.
Loss. So Blake only went 1-2 last week, but he hit on the Steelers -3.5, which was a miracle, thanks to blocked extra points, and lost on the Saints and the Falcons. Life lessons: don't bet on the NFC South.
For some reason, I'm obsessed with the NFC South.
Speaking of that,
If this kid would have came to fucking Kentucky,
Blake's
he would've
twin
been-
decided to not only bet on the NFC South, but to also bet on the Big Ten West with the Minnesota Gophers. Bad strategy, but did hit on the Maryland Terrapins. I lost all my chalk games with Oklahoma State and with the Bengals because, they both lost. So that's not ideal. And then Jonathan came in real hot with Mizzou with a +1 win and Iowa covering their spread, but also lost to Oklahoma State. So, that's how the gambling streets go.
Cal, what are we using?
2 timeouts.
All right, let me flip over to the YouTube TV and let's see what we got going on over here. Kansas
you
versus
doing?
Kentucky.
Cal just wasted 2 timeouts.
Why?
No, I believe Kansas took the first timeout.
We still have 32 seconds left. That was forever ago.
We just
We've been at 2. We have 2 timeouts back to back. It's an important game.
I'm gonna ruin it for Jonathan before he sees it. I'm like legit 15 seconds ahead of you, by the way.
You don't know. You don't know where I'm at.
Oh, I don't know where you're at, but I know where Jonathan's at because I've heard him react to stuff. And I'm like, I saw that literally 20 seconds ago.
Damn, I can't mute him.
No, you can't do squat.
You can't remotely.
I won't ruin it for you.
I will. Jonathan, what's on your screen right now?
Right now, it's the Maui Invitational.
Oh my gosh, I'm way ahead of you.
What does that even mean?
They've already continued play here.
What? How
Hey,
are you that far ahead?
Jonathan,
Maybe I should end the call.
the next time that a point gets scored, please tell me.
Oh, he traveled. What a play after 2 timeouts. What a play after 2 timeouts.
All right, I'm about 4 seconds behind Blake.
I'm so far behind.
He still hasn't seen
Okay,
This is
all right,
amazing.
All right, cool. They just threw it off the backboard.
Yeah.
All right, Jonathan is literally like 10 seconds behind me and like 15 seconds behind Blake.
And we got Jay-Z coming in the game. That dude looks exactly like Jay-Z.
He does
Right.
look like Jay-Z. That's weird.
A little bit, not exactly like, but
He looks like a young Jay-Z.
Oh my, college basketball. What are we reviewing? He threw it off the backboard.
Oh, fuck.
give me a foul.
They can't review fouls in
Come
college.
on, Antonio. Let's
It
go,
was-
Reeves.
Shot clock violation. Okay, didn't hit the rim. Perfect. It's 18.9. Let's go.
No, because he got the shot off.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter once it doesn't hit the rim. That it's at zeros. 19.6.
That's a terrible rule. That makes no sense.
All right, Reed Shepard's in the game, so we're all right.
Also, wait. Go back to that, Blake.
What?
When on the scoreboard behind the basket, it does not say 19.6. It says 19.4.
Oh, does it? In the one on the video said 19.6.
I know. And I mean, let's get it together, ESPN and the State Farm Classic.
Cal, if you subbed out Reed Shepherd, I swear to God, dude.
This is the worst podcasting that has ever existed.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
going to watch 20 seconds of a freaking college basketball game that is going to go just terribly
He
for
subbed him
so
out.
long.
That stupid fucking wop.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no, he's in.
And not on top of that, Jonathan is saying racial slurs.
I'm
So-
Italian. I'm allowed to say wop.
No, not that's not how that works.
All right, fucking Dago.
Hey, how did the Spurs lose to the Thunder by 50 points?
They did. That's bad.
Thunder are actually good.
Sorry, 46 points.
Well,
The NC
Chris Alexander had 28 points. Imagine that. Another Kentucky player that goes in the NBA and becomes a.
Does that mean that the Spurs are out of the play-in tournament?
I
What are
hope
we
so.
doing?
Lord,
What
I
are
don't
we doing?
support a
What are
game.
we doing?
Oh, get excited, Jonathan.
What are we doing? Let's go, Reed. Oh.
Play draw.
An air ball to a foul is
Shouldn't
what
have
just
shot that.
happened.
He was double covered. He should have shot it.
I mean, this is a terrible play by Kentucky.
You're
There's
set-
barely any movement off the ball, and then just a jacked up three with a guy twice his size in his face
with 7 seconds left.
with 7 seconds left. Now we're at 5.4. Kansas needs one free throw to win the game.
Who's
Not
this
even
sweet?
seeing this
Who's
shit
this
yet.
sweet shepherd cat?
He's
What is-
he's the 1998 national title MVP for Kentucky's son,
What is
You
Hall of
can't-
Fame son.
what is this new Kentucky logo?
Yeah, it's dumb. Damn it.
It's been the longest minute and a half of my life.
I'm just letting y'all know when he makes this first free throw, I'm ending the podcast because this has been terrible.
All right.
Did he make it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Son of a
I
bitch.
love streaming.
All right, wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Jonathan, have you seen him make it yet?
He just made it.
Hey,
All right.
I'll say when I see him make it, and you say when you see him.
Okay. Everyone just say
Hit it. Now you say it whenever it makes it.
made it.
To word, not. Kansas is singing bye bye. Like, that's what I'm seeing. He made it.
Oh my gosh. That's
Ball game.
That's 20. Yeah, the game's over. You said made it, and the game was over already.
All right. And that's going to do it for this like 1 hour and 30-minute podcast, as 15 minutes was just watching the last 5 minutes of
Not
Kansas
even
versus
five.
Kentucky.
Not even-
Sorry, the last 33.2 seconds of Kentucky versus Kansas. And hey, what a surprise. Kentucky lost because they suck.
Fifth best
All
team in the ACC.
Wait. Oh, wait. I got to hit stop recording.
That's in a
Okay, first off, we're missing 3 of our big men.
That's a basketball school and a football conference. Fifth best team.
Ooh, rough.